All right, everyone, welcome to the episode 9 Lalomanu Beach recap episode. I am here with Robbie, and we will be breaking it all down for you right now.
Yes, we roll into this episode after the crazy ending to episode 8. Jackie has shown her cards, although she pretty much tried to show it a few times and people just wouldn't see it. But the vote went 4-3 against Shea in the previous episode, 3 votes on Anthony, 4 on Shea, one of those 4 being Jackie. And, the flip is official at this point.
Yeah, she is now with Anthony, Serena, and Kyle. And they're gonna maybe ride it out to the end.
Yeah, you know what? And we see Kyle jump into the start of this episode with one of his opening confessionals. He has a few this season, and he's extremely proud of the biggest blind side of the season, and immediately mentions he wants to target Morgan. We gotta get Morgan out of here. And we roll from that to the flip side of the coin. Greg, who was just blindsided, and he's got nothing but respect. Greg saying it was they're intelligent beyond measure, I think is the phrase that he uses. I love Greg in this season, by the way.
He's a great character.
Yeah.
John, one of our production members, Greg is one of John's friends, and he recruited Greg, and oh my gosh, so blessed to have him on this season. His commentary, a lot of the times I was struggling to not put some of his great one-liners as episode titles. I was like, try and be a little diverse here with the people that you're giving episode titles to, because he just has those like great zinger confessionals.
You can't help but love the content that this guy creates. And, once again, we keep rolling on with the people who just got blindsided. Morgan jumps into a confessional and is a little bit worried because of the fact that not as in control as she had felt in previous episodes, two travels in a row where she wasn't in control, didn't know what was happening, and knows now that Jackie's flipped. She feels safe for this because we're in the final 6.
Yep.
And she has that legacy. So she is safe in this episode.
Yes. She found that at the very beginning of the game within like 2 seconds, and she didn't have to will it to anybody. So that's really good. And yeah, we get into this immunity challenge. It set the stage. What are your thoughts?
It set the stage. This was really interesting. I think it was a little crazy to be doing such a complex challenge in a mini. Thankfully, it is this late in the mini, so there's only a few people doing it. But the first one, they got to toss 6 balls up one at a time and catch them in a dedicated solo cup. And then some people who make it through that round go on to bounce the ping pong ball and catch it on the bottom of a solo cup, which looks way harder than I thought it was going to be. It sounded really simple. And then you go from that to a slide puzzle. And in the first round on the cups, you see Serena misses by a second, to get into the second round. In round 2, Morgan and Kyle lose out on the bouncing of the ball and catching it on the cup. And then we get to the final round, a showdown on a slide puzzle, Greg and Jackie.
And I saw Jackie winning it from the start because Greg's top piece, his one piece, was wrong. Because it was a little tricky with that slide puzzle with some of the corners and the white screen.
Yeah.
But he had the wrong corner on that first square, and I was like, he's done for because he doesn't notice it. So it was just a matter of time before Jackie solved hers.
Yeah, and I have a little bit of experience doing slide puzzles. I played one mini and one long game. There's a couple of slide puzzles there. And I saw when watching it back, some people solve it in a weird way where there's like, you do the side and the top row, and then you kind of expand on those. And other people just go from the top down or from the side and go across or whatever. So I thought, well, maybe Greg's got a strategy that's a little out there, and in the end it'll just come together all of a sudden. But unfortunately for Greg, that didn't happen. And like you mentioned, Jackie,
when you have that one piece wrong,
that's it.
It's hard to recoup.
So Jackie's guaranteed a spot in the final 5 after this challenge. Yeah. And go ahead.
It's her second immunity that she has won this season. So she's starting this like immunity maybe run, because a lot of people that they're eliminating, like we see Greg go out here in this episode, he was a strong challenge competitor. Morgan is kind of her only competition at this point for challenge.
Yes.
Because Kyle hasn't been doing very strongly. Anthony did win that one immunity. It was balancing. And then Serena has outwardly said, I'm not good at challenges.
Yeah.
So
does her best, but it's not working out.
Jackie's definitely one of the front runners here for keeping herself safe.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think you nailed it. And when you look at the numbers match everything you just said. Jackie just flipped when she was in majority, right? So people in the majority that flip oftentimes are burning people that they're leaving because we had power. Why did you screw it up for us? Is kind of how people might see it. So, now there's 2 people that might feel a little burned by you. And there's 3 people that don't need you anymore, but they could play you. So Jackie was at risk here because, there could have been 5 votes against Jackie at this point, potentially,
right?
Because those 3 Tapua members that are left don't need that 4th number.
Right, exactly. They could tell Greg and Morgan, hey, just vote Jackie out.
Yeah, or say anybody else, right? And the 3 of them vote Jackie out, and Jackie's vote can go to.
Let's get that 3-2-1.
Yeah, we could have had it. But no, of course, Jackie's got to go and win immunity.
Yeah.
But no, and I love seeing Kyle's energy in this, in the scramble round, we're going to call it the breakout rooms, where he gets into a room with Serena and he goes high fives and holds up his hands and he's ecstatic. And Serena says a line like, who do you want to vote out? We're in power now.
Yeah.
Like just such a huge flip of the script from merge, or actually just after merge, I guess, when they were down 5-4 at that point and screwed for the most part.
Exactly. So, I mean, I guess they thought they were reassuring Jackie enough where, hey, let's keep going. Us 3, Shea, Morgan, Jackie, we're the 3. Let's go. But then Anthony was also like, hey, did you see that challenge? Like, you should probably.
Yeah, exactly. Anthony and Serena and Kyle's always been around too, but Kyle wasn't necessarily talking strategy with Jackie, but he also wasn't attacking Jackie openly either, right? Or doing things that are against that. But I think Anthony and Serena's combined attack on trying to flip Jackie's is paying off here, right? Because Jackie feels appreciated on one tribe and doesn't feel appreciated on the other. And at this point, okay, Greg or Morgan are going to get the votes. Right. That's what Greg and Morgan are assuming, because Jackie just flipped and the other 3 are obviously not going to vote with Greg and Morgan. And you see Morgan in a room, just get the words out with Greg saying, yes, they have the numbers, but it might not matter because I have an idol that I have to play this tribal. And right before she can finish saying what they want to do with it, I think it was Kyle jumped into the room. And I found something really, really interesting on rewatch, where at first I thought Greg was just rambling, as Greg does sometimes, where he just kind of elaborates on crazy eccentric things, and it's fun to watch, but it's kind of hard to follow. But he says something along the lines of, taking a trip to the past doesn't help us here, and alluding to do something different. And when you put that into context, he's pretty much saying, in my mind, don't do what you did last time. Last time, Morgan played her idol on herself. And I feel like this was Greg's way of saying, don't do that. Don't play it on yourself. Because he's saying, don't take a trip to the past. And I didn't read a lot into it until we get to tribal council. And when asked, who are the threats in the season so far, Greg says, I'm the biggest threat. Right? Or he says me. I think somebody says, who's the biggest threat, Greg? And he says me. And then he says a line like, a vote for me would be a smart vote, or something like that. And he's pretty much begging for the votes. And I think he tried to tell Morgan, like earlier, use the idol on me. I'll get the votes coming to me. And Jackie went to Morgan, and Jackie even said, we're all voting Greg. And Greg's like, hello, I'm here. We have an idol. And you see Greg in his voting confessional, when he casts his vote for Kyle, he says, this will be my second last vote. because he thinks he's going to survive this one.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved it because I think Greg thought he passed the message off in his coded language to Morgan. Save me here.
Well, the thing is, though, it was the legacy advantage and not a regular idol. So
okay, so in this game,
it's solely Morgan plays it on Morgan.
Okay, because my understanding of a legacy advantage from other games that I've watched as well, and obviously it's not the case in this mini, was that it was an immunity idol that you had. The legacy portion was you had to pass it on to somebody, but it was immunity idol only valid at a tribal, but you could play it on anybody you want.
We were
not the case
going based off of the actual show legacy advantage, where if you get willed that is your idol to play on you at a certain tribal council. So we just didn't have that like final 13 and final 6 tribal council because we have 14 players total. So we were just like, all right, final 6 is when you can play this idol, and but it is like solely yours. So that would have been a great
and Morgan might have, obviously known that was the rule, because I'm sure it's said in the description or whatnot, or any type of questions that you guys had asked. But all Greg got to see was that 3 seconds of Morgan saying, I've got an idol or an advantage in the game, or I got an idol or whatever it was.
I've got something.
Yeah. And and anyways, he tried, and unfortunately for Greg, everybody voted for him, even Morgan.
Well, Morgan, like, why at this point, why vote for someone else and like burn another bridge? I know she like voted for Anthony countless times. I mean, what's one more? But
the only thing I think that could have happened is that, let's say everybody voted for Morgan, and Greg and Morgan voted for anybody else. They're going home. So I guess the whole tie scenario would have been really interesting, because if 4 people, or I guess if Greg would have got that idol or something, how would the vote have worked out? I guess it would have been 1 vote. Where did Greg vote? Kyle.
Yeah. So if everyone was voting Morgan and they told Morgan Greg, it would be Greg and Kyle immune from the wheel because Greg votes Kyle. And Morgan, because she had that idol, and it would be Jackie, Serena, and Anthony on the wheel.
Well, I suppose only one person would have. Well, I guess. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. That would have been really interesting. Another wheel on another season, but no.
I mean, season 3. How many wheels are you predicting, Robbie?
Exactly. Let's say a baker's dozen. That's 1 per episode here.
Well, all right, let's go. All right, you've heard it here now.
I called it.
Cast of season 3. Make sure you go to Rocks every episode.
Every challenge. Don't pick who's going to be the leader. Make it go to a wheel. But you know what? I got to say, Greg goes out here. He was one of my favorite, if not my favorite characters on this entire season. Him and Kyle right now are kind of tied with entertainment value. I love the confessionals, but Greg's hilarious. I hope he plays again. I hope he plays a long game. Cause
he'd be great. Oh my gosh. Cause I think he has that social skill that in a mini sometimes hurts you, because it's like, oh man, they're good, they're gonna make it to the end. But in a long game, he could maybe like grow those relationships and like trick them into being like, you want to take me to the end,
the Serena vote. Look at the Serena vote, right? He had 3 seconds, maybe 10, to say vote Serena, and he got 3 votes, including his own, on Serena in like no time. If he would have had a half hour, he probably would have had it.
Yep, exactly.
Right? He probably would have got Brittley. But anyways, it was sad to see Greg go. But he put up a hell of a show. He gave the fans a lot of great content, and I enjoyed watching.
Yes, I did too. Unfortunately, Greg could not join us for an exit interview. He said he had so much fun, and this was like the highlight of his year. So we loved having you on this season, and we do hope to have you on something else again.